There we go.
We got no issues going live on anywhere.
Oh, really?
Nothing. Nothing popping up.
Huh. Oh, good.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happening. Got that expert fade. Hey,
Oh, so
hey.
nice.
So nice. What an expert fade. Thank you guys for joining us. Oh, excuse me. I spoke too soon. The Facebook fans first. So I'm going to
Oh,
go ahead and remove it. Hang on.
I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Good.
see it? Is that your dog?
Yeah, he's active. He is very
Well,
excited.
yeah. As soon as I said, hey, we got no problems going live, and all of a sudden that popped up. So, all right. So just on Facebook, the fans first Facebook's not working, but the Fanatical
Mm-hmm.
Elves is. Hey, guys, welcome. It is the Burning River Browns Talk. It's Friday night, 9 o'clock. I'm
It
Lou
is.
Marconi at omarconi251 on Instagram, at omarconi1973 on X. My partner, DJF and ESJ, is always here with me every Friday. It is
That I am.
Sherry. Yes, Sherry at Browns Fangirl on X and at Budgie M on Instagram.
All
Correct?
right, nailed it.
I do my best. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Heather, for helping me sell my daughter's Girl
All
Scout
right.
cookies. Yeah, it was nice of Heather to do that. Hey, I'll tell you, the tag-alongs, the Thin
Sure.
Mints.
The lemon, there's some sort of lemon ones now, I saw.
Absolutely. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
exciting.
Yeah, check that out. Hey, happy Friday. Check it out. Look who joined us.
Hey, Posh, happy Friday to you.
Yeah, Posh, thank you.
You might recognize my brick wall from last night.
Yeah. I'm just afraid to ask, but we're just going to leave it alone.
I just think it's funny. There's no other. I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
Like I'm hanging out in an alley, I brought my computer with me. Let's do some podcasting,
Absolutely.
undescript.
Yep, cool. We're live on X. Good. Oh, just a quick show note. We are here on the Fanatical Elves Network, which is a subsidiary of the Fans First Sports Network. Check out our sponsor and the details of the show, Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. Click on it, order up some good coffee. I also know who is that? Abe
Hello.
Froman. Hey, Mr. Abe Froman. How you doing? Thank you. Just so you know, come Sunday, there's going to be a first time ever. Corey Castle and I are going to go live with the Sunday Stew Pot at 1:30 in the afternoon. So we're doing a Super Bowl special. He's in Philly. We're going to have an Eagles fan as a special guest. So we're going to talk some football,
exciting.
talk current events. I got my jokes. I'm going to be ready to go. So we got all kinds of things happening. So we're going to talk Myles Garrett. Wow, what a surprise.
Surprise.
We'll talk quarterback, talk possibly draft strategy, and we'll talk Super Bowl. I mean, I want to
Sure.
kind of bring that up, and we'll go from there. And if there's anything else anybody wants to talk about, comment in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment all you want. We appreciate you. Friday nights are extra fun because of you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, just so you know, Johnny Cleveland, when I did the Stirring the Pot, loved the idea of doing the whole Waldorf and Stadler from the Muppets
Oh yeah.
from the upper deck at the Brown
Yes.
Stadium.
That's
Yeah,
a great idea. I love it.
He just went, "Oh, that's perfect. That's us. Two old geezers like spitballing up there, going, oh,
Yeah. I think don't you need to be dressed in your formal opera wear for that?
probably not."
Oh, but it would be so funny.
I can honestly tell you, I have never attended the opera. Have you?
Really?
Have you ever been to an opera?
I have. I have been to an opera in Palm Beach, and it was the most pretentious thing I've ever been to. Number one, because it was in Palm Beach. Number two, one of the funniest things that happened, there was an angry off because somebody was opening a hard candy, and the cellophane set off the elderly with such rage hate that you would not believe the angry shushing that was going on while there was the very mild cringe. It was so angry. Like you could tell the scowls that were
See,
used.
well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat a huge bowl of beans and then go to it.
Yes. Yes.
They'll be real happy with me.
Well, I said, did you see that reel I sent you
Yes,
on?
it's National Fart Day. That's why I brought that joke up.
Thank you. Thank
Everybody
you.
show
I'm
up to
so
the
happy.
opera, show up to the opera and cut the cheese as
With
loud
your
as you can.
gaseous, with the cauliflower, with the beans.
The broccoli,
Oh boy.
chopping broccoli. So no, Miles Garrett. The news broke Monday. He released a statement saying that publicly he requested a trade, which he already did it privately.
Mm-hmm.
Requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. I wrote an article about it because obviously fans first asked me to. They said they
Sure.
wanted me to cover. I was like, sure, I'd be happy to. What was your initial reaction? Because I'll tell you mine. I'll let you go first.
Ah! Like Charlie Brown. Like that was my first because I didn't want to read that bullshit. It was early in the week, and I'm like, this is what's going to set the tone for my week. This nonsense. I don't like this one bit.
Yeah, I kind of went, really? Are we doing this shit?
Exactly. I had a similar kind of. I'm like, really? Come
It
on.
felt like somebody kicked me in the nuts. It
Yes.
did. I was just like, I mean, you would know what that feels like, but it's not fun.
It was a
You-
gut
you-
punch
It
kind
was a
of
gut
thing.
punch, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I sat down, and I was just looking at the online reaction, how everybody
Oh,
wanted,
the fire.
everybody wanted to fire Barry, they wanted to fire Stefanski, they wanted a new owner, they want
Yes.
Podesta to be stringed and quartered.
Mm-hmm.
But I just said, okay. I love that there was a protest.
Oh, you mean the lack thereof? And did you see?
Two
Did you see?
fucking dipshits show up to protest. Guys, what are you protesting?
It was to me, it was so funny because I was watching the live news when it was going on. So I took a few pictures and I put them out there. They looked like school-aged kids that, Aiden's mom drove the van over and they all hopped in. It looked like a bunch of unemployed people who were very
It was a
young.
Monday afternoon.
Yeah,
We
it was
work.
5 p.m.
It
5
was like,
freaking p.m. in the afternoon.
yeah.
Who is
Two-
around to
two-
hold the sign that says I'm upset about football stuff at 5 p.m. On a
guys.
Monday?
So I didn't even bring that up in the article. What I said was, look, these are the facts. Go with the facts. Well, Miles Garrett, if he feels like they're too far away from winning a championship, he wants to play where he can contend. Okay, it's his prerogative. Sorry, who did? Oh, Steve.
Hey,
I thought I was
Steve.
putting it on. Yeah, sorry, we do that. Sherry, I'll let you handle that.
Thank you.
Okay. So anyway, that's his prerogative to ask for a trade. He can ask.
Sure.
But this is the reality of the situation. The Cleveland Browns have him under contract for 2 more years,
Right.
and the following 2 years after that, they can franchise him.
Right.
So the next 4 years, he is contractually obligated to play for the Cleveland Browns, or else he won't play in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He could sit out. He could just retire.
He could pout. Yeah, he could
can
retire.
pout. He can
His
do all that.
goals will not be achieved by doing that for sure.
No, and he has no say on where he gets traded to. I was like, my first.
Right.
I was texting with Johnny Cleveland. I said, "Well, fuck it, trade him to the Jets."
Sick burn, sick.
just tell the owner what his Madden score is. He'll love it.
Right. That's
that's
what you get as punishment. You're going to the Jets.
Yes, see, we can make fun of Jets. That's how bad it is. So
right.
Everybody's screaming we're dysfunctional. Okay, so
Sure.
let me get this straight. We're dysfunctional if we keep our GM, keep our coach for the last 5 years going into the 6th year. We had a horrible season. Things that they thought would work did not work. It was obvious. Bad season. I'm not going to deny that. But now we're dysfunctional but teams like Tennessee fire their GM.
Right.
Teams like the Jets fire their coach and GM. Teams like the Raiders fire their coach and GM. I mean, teams do this. We're not the only one. I think the Bears did this. They fired their coach.
And the Cowboys, right?
Cowboys fired their coach. Everybody is going through all this stuff. And yet we're the ones that are dysfunctional just because they like to say it. It's just like they're parroting what they're doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Whether we're functional or not, that's two different things. That Athletic article came out. There's G. Bush, Garrett Bush, guy I have a great deal of respect for and I agree with a lot. He said some things in a video because he got like insider information from Miles tells a story, but that's just Miles' side of the story.
Okay.
And what what he was talking about was he this is what G. Bush said, which I totally disagree with him on. The Browns were content to be, they want to be relevant with the new stadium. And I'm like,
Ah.
you don't give up 3 first-round picks and spend $230 million on a quarterback to be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take a swing like that if you're just trying to be relevant. You don't. And you can't say that we're not trying to win, because we outspend the NFL by $50 million in salary with the restructures and the contracts and everything, because Haslam spending the money. Now,
Yeah.
if you want to say the results of these decisions aren't right, yes, okay, that's true. Fine. There's definitely validity to that, but you can't say they didn't try. You could say the results didn't get to where you wanted to go, of course, because obviously the Watson thing fell apart.
Right.
That's what it was. And they're blaming the Watson thing, but everybody, I want to go back to March of 2022 when that deal went down and to look at all the tweets, all the social media posts, listen to 92.3 The Fan, listen to everything, all the podcasts when they found out Deshaun Watson was coming here.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to it. And Baker Mayfield was on his way out. Everybody was reacting like they got a brand new shiny toy on Christmas morning. Well, you wouldn't know about Christmas, but anyway, on Hanukkah. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. But no, do you see what I'm saying, though? Everybody was happy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was gleeful. Well, here we are 3 years later. Everybody's down, and they wish we had Baker Mayfield. If we had Baker Mayfield, we would be losing divisional round games.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, I said
Seriously.
100 times. He's not.
He wasn't the guy.
He needed to leave to grow, to become better. And if he would have stayed here, he would have never developed.
Right.
To become better.
And we don't want a new stadium. Just so everybody understands this, we'll talk about the stadium too later. We're not wanting a new stadium. We're getting a new stadium. It's happening. Okay, don't sit there and doubt me on this. You guys can make all the comments you want. It is happening. There's no wanting. There's no.
It's a need. Yeah, it's not a want. It's a need. Big time.
It's a need, and no hope. It's gonna get done.
Sure.
And whether you like it or not, they're going there, and that's gonna happen. So, cut the shit. All right. Just stop with the bullshit. Stop with the selective memory too, because that really fucking pisses me off. And you know what? Stop wearing that stupid fucking jersey with all the names on the back.
Yeah.
That joke is as old as Joe Biden's Depends. Okay, it's done. It's done. It's played. Wearing your T-shirt saying "Factory of Sadness" doesn't help. Going out and protesting on a Monday afternoon because you don't have a fucking job doesn't help. What helps is understanding the reality of the situation and where we're at. I was listening to a few experts and what they thought. If this team had average quarterback play, and I say 7 wins in 2024 with average quarterback play. I saw one guy, Quincy Carrier, said 9 or 10, which I think that might be a stretch, but we're basically Pittsburgh at that point.
Right. Sure.
So my thought process would be back to what Garrett Bush said, and my thought process on why I wrote my article that came out today about Kirk Cousins was what makes the most sense to at least get average quarterback play in 2025 with an improved line scheme, an improved offensive scheme, improved line, and improved running game. Could we get to 9 wins? Could we? Now who would be the best fit? And I wrote why I thought Kirk Cousins would be the best fit. I could be wrong. I could be, okay? But I wrote about that. But let's put that on hold. I want to get back to Myles Garrett. He's not going anywhere this year. I said it to John on Monday. John's like going with you. See, Johnny Cleveland. He
takes the opposite. Like the sky is falling. He takes the opposite.
He takes the opposite, but he was also saying, and I understood what he was saying. He took the emotional. I said, well, he can't stay. He has to leave. I said, in 2020, in May of 2020, David Njoku.
Well, yeah, I was going to bring that up. Yeah, exactly. And then we all saw what happened there.
He 2 years later, he signed an extension.
Yeah. So he actually said when they interviewed him at the Super Bowl on media day that he's going to talk to Miles, and they came in the same draft class together and
Yep, they're up.
started
Yep,
being Browns
2017.
together,
Mhm.
and he's going to have a heart to heart with him, and that's kind of cool. Uh,
Yep.
the opposite on the equal and opposite hand, you have Denzel Ward being like, "If Miles is going, I'm going." I'm like, "Eek."
Yeah. Well, Miles isn't going, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, but
He
it
just
was
said if
just
it.
yucky
Well,
that
Joe
it came
Bitonio.
out.
Yeah, Joe
Well,
Bitonio said too he'll
hmm
retire. If this
hmm
is a rebuild, we're not sticking around for a rebuild. We're trying to win
sure.
this year.
hmm
So that's what it was. And I
But it
think the
was just
last.
like,
Go ahead. What were we about to say?
no, I mean, it was just like,
Yeah, I know.
it was gross. I mean, nobody
It,
likes getting that news all at
yeah,
one
but I saw
time.
one headline for another show on the Fanatical L saying now Ward wants out. He didn't say that. He said if Miles
No,
goes, he wants to go. Yeah,
right,
he didn't
exactly.
say
Yeah.
he didn't say trade me.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah, you mentioned the haul of draft picks we got if we would trade Joe Baton, not Joe Batonio, Miles Garrett and Denzel
Yeah.
Ward. I mean, we could blow it up. People are saying
Wow.
blow it up, do this. There's Steeler fans saying the same shit in Pittsburgh. Just so
Oh,
you
of
know.
course. Always. Every year.
Yeah, they're tired of being mediocre. They are.
Hmm
They'd rather suck completely. But boy, oh yeah, you have a 3 or 4 win season. Let me see. Watch those Yingers bitch and cry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh,
wouldn't know how to handle that.
no,
Like
they have.
troopers.
We have thick skin as Browns fans,
hmm
and we've earned it. We've earned our stripes for that. But my point being was that Miles, it does well. First off, and just so you know, a little preview for next week's show.
Sure.
I have Jack Duffin. I'm meeting with Jack Duffin. I think it's Tuesday. I'm going to record the interview for next Friday's show. And one of the things I'm going to talk about is say, okay, if they do trade Miles this year, speaking hypothetically, what's the cap hit? And I'm hearing anywhere in the range of 16 million dead cap to 36 million dead cap.
hmm
They're not going to do it just on that alone.
Sure.
Now in 2026, I heard if they trade him the following season, it's a $1 million cap dead cap hit.
Oh,
Where that could work. That could work, meaning they could make that happen. So
right.
plus also think about it, the 2026 draft class is better at quarterbacks. So
But see, I'm always like better. I mean, we don't know till we know.
you don't know
Until
until you
they're
know.
in the NFL and doing the reps. I just really dislike when people, no offense to what you said, but I really dislike when people
Oh
do
yeah,
all that. Like, you don't know what any of these kids are going to be until they're actually in the NFL, learning the way the NFL style, the schemes of, your
right.
new team. So, like, any draft pick can be the complete changer of an entire team. So it just drives me nuts when people are like, "Well, this quarterback class isn't good." I'm like, "You don't know that.
I,
There's no way. It's
yeah,
impossible.
yeah.
Absolutely." And I'm not talking about like the top 2 or whatever. Anybody could be a game changer. You know what I mean? And they're like, "Oh, well, this draft class isn't good." I'm like, "Bullshit."
Well, people are saying, yeah, they were saying if these guys these guys wouldn't have been in the top 6 in last
Mhm.
year's quarterback draft class. So they had Drake May, I think Jaden Daniels, Caleb
Mhm.
Williams, a lot of good players that came out.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and
regardless,
I mean, for
go ahead.
example, Caleb Williams went number 1, and how'd he do with the Bears this season?
They got the coach fired.
Exactly. So therefore, we
Mhm.
cannot say this draft pick is good. You
Then you
know,
had Jaden Daniels had a phenomenal rookie year.
exactly.
Phenomenal. That
Exactly.
kid,
So
that
we
he's
don't
a great
know
athlete. Oh,
until we know.
right. That's true. That you're right. You're 100% right. And how many different draft picks? Oh, what do we got? What do we got? Steve? Steve, what is that saying there, Steve? The big question is what changed with Miles from a few weeks ago when he said, you know what? I'll answer that question for you. I was just about to get to that.
Sure.
Do you know who we talked to?
Yes.
He talked to LeBron James, I think Rich Paul too.
Oh, I
And
don't.
yeah, I heard that. But I know he talked to LeBron. Well,
Mhm.
all right. Um, hold on. Who was that? Oh, Brian. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
No,
Yeah, I
they're blowing it
agree.
up. No, they're not going
Mhm.
to blow it up in 2025. They might do more to blow it up in 2026, but not this year. This year we have everybody on defense under contract.
Mhm.
We do. So that wasn't the design. That wasn't the plan. So anyway, let's get back. Let's stick to it. He talked to LeBron James. He comes out in public. He had privately asked for it. The Browns knew he was going to publicly ask for it. LeBron just came out and said, "We're not trading him. Come to camp. We'll see you at camp." I mean, that's really what's going to happen. Because if he doesn't play, if he doesn't come, he doesn't get paid.
Right.
So he's got it, and he has no say on where he goes either. So my point being is that he could pull this shit all he wants, but all he's doing is really doing what kind of like what LeBron did in 2010, and kind of like what Kevin Durant did in 2016. But the NBA is different than the NFL. The players have more say in where they go and play, and you can pull that crap. You could pull that crap. That's why. Well, LeBron was a free agent. Miles isn't a free agent. Now, if it was 2029, he could go. He could say, "Yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to shot my." But he would be like 32. He wouldn't be worth as much, and that's that. So we got Miles under control for the next 4 years if he wants to stay. Next is that I'm noticing the changing of narrative a little bit now. And tell me if you're seeing this too, how people are kind of turning against Miles a little bit.
Now, yeah, I noticed especially today. For sure. Like I was paying attention to it on the timeline. Like it was like F Miles. I'm like, whoa.
Not necessarily just on social media, but I'm just sitting there thinking like, hey, he's trying to chase a ring. He didn't care about Canton.
Sure.
See, look, you could do that. It's your prerogative. Kevin Durant did that. LeBron James did that. But it's not the same as if you do it from home.
Right.
You can't go chase the ring and still be home. It's two different things.
Turned completely once you started doing Radio Row interviews. Exactly. Did you see the Rich Eisen interview? He looked so uncomfortable. He couldn't speak correctly, which is very unlike Miles Garrett. He's under stress right now. You could tell immediately and how uncomfortable he was sitting there, and he kept saying so I know. Like he couldn't find his words. Like the man was extremely uncomfortable doing that interview, and because he knew the backlash that was going to come after that interview.
No, I mean, he even kind of said like the Browns can say no, and he's well within his rights to ask. They're well within their rights to say no. Come to camp. We'll see you. See you at the Greenbrier. I mean, honestly, that's how it is. And if he shows up and if he doesn't do what he's supposed to, like he doesn't play his ass off like he always did,
right,
that's going to reflect negatively on him. So only thing he did was kind of made himself look bad.
Made it look publicly bad, and it just sucks because he's the face of the whole team, and he's fan favorite, and all the little freaking kids love him. Number one, and me being mushy, that's the first thing I thought of was all the little kids catching wind, and I'm like, no, they don't understand that their hero wants to lead. Like they just know that much, and they don't understand the negotiation business nonsense part of it,
and it can get ugly. Negotiations can always get ugly. I've done it with certain deals and stuff.
Right.
I understand. And I just say, hey, right now, I mean, now the emotions calm down, because at first everybody was angry at the Browns, and I thought Miles knew that would happen. And he's right. But now people are starting to calm down a little bit and saying, wait a second. You're saying that like when the insider information came out from G. Bush, that's not accurate. It's not like we weren't trying to win. It's not like we're not trying. We're just not being successful at it. Okay, yeah, that's fair. But you can't say we're not trying. You can't say we're not spending the money. We're not trying to make moves.
Right.
I mean, and Andrew Barry's not perfect. Neither is Kevin Stefanski. I'm not saying they are.
They're humans. I mean, against the narrative, everybody calls them robots. They are not. They are.
Well, no, they're robots on
humans.
Interviews. They don't give shit away. They don't.
Right. They're tight-lipped. That's fine. You got to, that's okay.
That's fine. I don't blame them. Christ. Yeah. I like when Stefanski introduced Tommy Rees, and they're like, well, hey, do you want to use? No. He's just like, I
was kind of proud of him for doing that. It took him a few years, but he just, he commanded the room for a change,
I would have loved if he went, fuck you, and just left.
Or just picked up the mic, dropped, and then just left. Yeah.
Then you hear dun dun
Yeah, that
dun
would have been
dun
great. Somebody
dun
needs to
dun.
have that on, like, ready to go.
Yeah, yeah. I but the whole thing is supposedly he met with them. He still doesn't think that they're on the right trajectory to do it. Okay,
Mhm.
fine. You're not helping yourself there, Miles.
Right.
Your public image is not going to, I mean, image means a lot. Legacy means a lot, and he's hurting
Right.
it.
Because we all loved how he embraced the community and became part owner, or,
Cavaliers.
minority owner in the Cavs and all that being,
Late in
you
the
know,
fourth quarter, Cavs are beating the Wizards 129 to 116.
sweet.
Yay.
And how he just embraced being a
Mhm.
Clevelander and, as people said, showed up at the Muni lot this past season and hung out for a
Mhm.
little bit and really just became Cleveland.
One of the people I respect the most that does this is Quincy Carey on the Orange and
Right.
Brown Report. I bring him up a lot. I was
Mhm.
watching a video that he said, Miles, I'm going to be honest with you about this. He spoke to him heartfully. He says, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
True.
You're going to hurt your
Absolutely.
image if you do this. You
Which
cannot do
is
this and not hurt your image. You might get that ring, but it's not going to be the same as if you did it here.
mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, like when LeBron won that championship here, that one
Right.
championship for the Cavaliers meant more than 10 in LA or Miami or wherever else.
Exactly.
It meant, and it really it cemented his legacy in Cleveland. But then he left again anyway. It's like, okay, thanks, bye. But by that time,
Right.
every year it was like new drama. Was he going to stay? He was
Which
signing 1 year contract.
that's obnoxious.
I was just, yeah, it was like dealing. It was like I equated it to like dating a really hot chick that kind of
Yeah.
teases the guy. I'm like, just fine, just
Just
you know,
cut the
just
strings. Let her go. Let her go.
just go. I'm good.
Right.
Thank you. We had our fun. I got the memories.
Yes.
Thanks. Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
it was fun, but no, you're not
Yeah.
worth it. Yeah, it's kind of like
No.
that. Yeah, and I even said this. I've joked with this. I've said I would take an average-looking woman anytime that's sweet, that's nurturing, and not a pain in the ass.
Right. Exactly.
Guys, you can spot. You could chime in too. I know it's not a dating or relationship type of thing, but trust me, I don't care how good she looks. Someone somewhere is sick of her shit. Believe me. It's a fact. Okay, let's switch gears. Now we talked about Miles.
Sure.
We pretty much spent a half hour on Miles Garrett and kind of meandered around a little bit.
Mhm.
Guys, just what I said, and I told Johnny Cleveland. I said if I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. I
Of
don't see him
course.
getting traded this year. I think the Browns are going to stand firm, and that's it. But I don't see them taking a quarterback second overall. I see them taking one in the third round, and I could see a Jackson Dart, Will Howard type.
Mhm.
I don't see Milroy. I actually heard from people I know that do podcasting for the Steelers in Pittsburgh that the Steelers are high on Jalen Milroy.
Oh, really?
I heard that, and I heard there
Ooh.
were. Yeah, I think I told you this too last week. I think Ethan was shocked when because this guy surprised me when he said it. Um, that they're going to trade T.J. Watt, and I'm like, what? I'm
I
like,
I don't believe that. Do
now
you?
Pickens, no, I don't believe that. But the
Oh,
George
okay.
Pickens, yes, I can see Pickens because
Mhm.
he's a
Drama
head
queen.
case. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's a head case. So, all right, now it's 132 to 116. So yeah, the Cavs are outscoring the Wizards in the fourth quarter. They have 38 points in the fourth quarter, and the Wizards have 23 in the fourth, and there's 2:19 left. So, guys, it's a fun night. Go Cavs! That was speaking of which, that Darius Garland last second 3-point shot against the Pistons Wednesday night. I was watching it live while writing, and I'm like, well, I'm changing my headline. Just kind of, that's exactly what I did. I was like, I'm changing my headline on that article. So back to it. The Kirk Cousins article that I wrote, speaking of articles, if you didn't read it, it's okay, but did you see it at all? Because I tag you in everything I do. I tag a lot of people. So,
I saw. I didn't have the opportunity to read it.
okay. My explanation, one, is I think they need to have a veteran quarterback come in to start that can be productive, which at least be average, which I think he could be
Sure.
above average because when he first started with Atlanta, he was
Mhm.
doing well and I guess he was battling through some injuries, which he could still get easily injured because he's older. That's one. Two, Atlanta's expected to cut him. If he stays on that team on March 17th, he's due a $10 million bonus.
Oh.
They're not going to pay that to him as a backup.
Mm-mm.
They're going to take the cap hit and they're going to let him go. What's that?
You don't tag me.
I'll start tagging you, Steve.
I'll
Yeah, you and Bearded Brown's podcast. Yeah.
It was like the opposite reaction of them. Why are you tagging me, bro?
Yeah, I tagged him with the Girl Scout cookies thing, and he
You.
laughed. He
Oh,
laughed.
okay. I mean, come on, you can't not love that. I mean,
Yeah,
geez, you're
yeah,
a
because that's the
monster.
last thing
You
I
don't
need
love.
right now. I don't need Girl
Mhm.
Scout cookies. It's
Like
like, I,
everybody needs Girl Scout cookies.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, I was just saying, I'll tag you from now on, Steve. Jesus Christ, I'll tag you even my Sunday stew pot reels. Okay. So anyway, where I was at with it was, I said they can sign him for the veterans minimum. Atlanta's going to take the cap hit. It'd be similar to what happened with Russell Wilson when he got cut
Gotcha.
by the Broncos to the Steelers. So we could do that for a year or two, draft the guy this year, maybe even draft the guy next year too, and have another veteran like Nang. I'm trying to think, another veteran back up to come in, maybe like a Brissett or somebody like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
And then you got Kirk Cousins, Brissett, and a draft pick.
Hmm.
Just having average to above average quarterback play, this team will be a lot better. Just that alone is an upgrade. DTR was awful.
Yeah.
Watson was awful. I mean,
Hmm.
he was. I mean, he was turning over with some fumbles, but he wasn't throwing interceptions.
Right.
Um, Winston was just throwing too many interceptions. When he played well and he didn't throw interceptions, we were in every game.
Right. Oh yeah. No. Hmm.
We were there. So really, we're not. I mean, even Denzel Ward said that to Miles Garrett. He said we're not that far away. So
Hmm.
I said he makes sense, even though it's like, okay, he's a bridge guy. Obviously, he's not the long term answer, but
Right.
that's why I did. And I talked to Duffin was the other guy in the Orange and Brown report I've talked to quite a bit. But what? Go ahead, tell me what. I mean, there's other guys that might be available out there, like your Cars, Darnold's, Stafford's. I don't know, or even
Oh
Geno
wow.
Smith. What's the
Wow.
oh wow?
That's so many to choose from if it's a
Well,
eligible thing.
but the cheapest option, probably the easiest option, least
Hmm.
expensive option would
Hmm.
be Kirk Cousins.
And he's played with Stefanski before, so he
I
knows.
said that too. Yep.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
knows the system. He
Hmm.
knows the
The
Stefanski offense.
Stefanski system, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know, I'm just being a fangirl. Unfortunately, it's not rational, and his play wasn't so great. But God, do I love Jameis Winston, especially this week. Do I have you been following all of his shenanigans in New Orleans?
I saw something. I saw a reel where he was on Phil. I think he was on Jason Kelsey's show
Yeah.
when his rookie year at Tampa. He was playing the Eagles, and somebody threw king crab legs at him
Yes.
from the stands. And I'm
Yes.
sitting there hearing him tell this story. He's like, how did he get that in the stadium?
Yes,
He's
that
trying to
was
figure that.
so funny.
He's like,
That
he was
was
just.
so funny.
I'm like, yeah. How did you get king crab legs into the state? Because I know they don't sell them there. What are
Right,
they doing?
exactly. It was very funny. And he also was going around on one of those rickshaw bikes singing,
Oh God.
which was hilarious.
No, no, he's a
And
great guy. Don't get
I
me
know,
wrong. He's a
and
great guy.
I hate that his production as a quarterback was not so good. And I hate to give up on him. I hate to give up on him, but that's a me problem. He I don't know. Could he change? Or is he an old dog that can't learn new tricks?
I don't know. I don't know if they'll keep him or not. I'm not sure. Could he change? Maybe. Could he be coached out of that? Maybe. He was in New Orleans for a couple of years and he was with Tampa
Mhm.
as well. So
Mhm.
you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah,
I
'cause
can't
I
really
would
say.
love to keep him. I think the locker room loves him. He is so good at unifying and rallying people. So, in a perfect world, I would keep Jameis. Sure, if you want to add another old guy to the roster, sure, bring up Kirk Cousins if he's affordable, and they could
Yeah.
help develop whatever quarterbacks drafted.
Hmm.
But that's just
That's just you.
that's just me in a
Let
perfect world.
Well, of course. Hang on a second. I want to make sure I get this. Final score: Cleveland Cavaliers 134, Washington Wizards 124. They are officially 42-10 with 30 games left to go in the season.
Wow. That is exciting stuff right there.
Yeah, and if you want to talk about the trade they made, I mean, DeAndre.
I know nothing of basketball.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's a
Now,
game.
they drafted a good defensive big on the wing, DeAndre Hunter, because that's really where Boston and Oklahoma City was taking advantage of us. So they were able to finagle this trade, and
Sure.
so from Atlanta, he was a top 5 pick in Atlanta. I mean, he's having his best season because he's been healthy. Hunter, I mean, and they traded some players. So
I saw.
he's a good fit for what we need. They're talking about bringing in a guy that's getting bought out by the Brooklyn Nets, who's Ben Simmons, who offensively isn't that well, but defensively he's good. And he'd be like a situational guy with us until we get healthy. But after we get healthy, he's really not going to play. So I don't know if he wants to come here and chase a ring or if he's just kind of, done.
Right.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So anyway, that's just that. But anyway, if people disagree with me on Kirk Cousins, which people have already, I think the best fit in the quarterback draft from what I've seen, Jackson Dart might be, but I really haven't watched enough of him to say anything. But I watched a lot of Will Howard because I covered the Buckeyes,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Will Howard would fit Stefanski's system as a 3rd round pick. I even said he could go as early as late first. Just getting those extra years of control in a rookie contract with him. But that's just me. If you want to disagree with me on Will Howard and Kirk Cousins, fine. Disagree all you want. People were chiming in on that article, which is fine. I like the fact that people are commenting on what I write,
Absolutely.
even though I don't agree with it. They're just saying he's too old. Well, I said you can feel that way, but I think for a year or two, I don't think he's too old for that. Let me see. Let me look up his age while you talk. Go ahead.
Wait,
What's
we
what's
should
that?
take a quick break, I think, real quick.
You want to take a break? Hey, folks, should I take a break? Let's take.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wow. The crowd. Thank you, crowd.
What? All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. How about that? We took a quick break. Okay. Well, now that we're back from break, let's look up. I'm going to do a little Google thing here. What's this?
You're using the Googles.
I'm using the Google.
You're using the Googles.
He's 36 years old. He'll be 37 on August 19th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's Kirk Cousins, according to the Googles.
Usually it's fairly accurate, the Googles.
Yeah. I think that's fine. So that seems like not giving up any draft picks, not really paying him anything. You get it. Let me see. Brian, he thinks, he thinks good. Now, hey, Brian, are you talking about the Stefanski offense like I was for the Browns for Will Howard? I think that's a guy that Stefanski would like to have. Personally, that's just what I think. So, he seems to be that. And I think I was hearing rumors that Minnesota might trade JJ McCarthy. He's agreeing. He's saying yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brian. He's saying that, I'm hearing like JJ McCarthy might get traded, but they drafted, was he a top 5 pick for Minnesota last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see them doing that, giving up on him like that. I could see Darnold leaving in free agency.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But
trying to cash in on some goodness that he has while he still has it.
just a quick note. Last year in the offseason, you know who else asked for a trade? Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati.
Okay.
He ended up leading the league in sacks this year. He did. He asked for a trade too. So did Brandon Ayuk. JJ was a 10th pick. Okay, that's according to Steve. All right,
Thank
top
you,
10
Steve.
Pick. Steve, my guy. I gotta tag him in more shit.
Yeah, you do.
God.
Especially when you go on Costco runs. That's just me.
Oh, just to get eggs.
They were, at Costco, they were $7.99 for 18 eggs. I didn't think that was bad. Or it was $6.99? No, it was $7.99. What is a limit for 3?
You see that video of people fighting over eggs or something?
It's so dumb. So dumb. Why?
I don't know. But okay, so we talked about Kirk Cousins, we talked about Miles Garrett. Let's just get the stadium stuff out of the way because I know there a law was proposed.
Oh, I saw the gamblers are gonna be a little cranky about it, but
Yeah. What do you say? What do you say?
oh, nice. He went to Costco and dropped another 130. Hey, that's cheap. That's
Just
cheap, man. That's like nothing.
just on
Nothing.
eggs? Just on eggs?
No, no. He went to Costco. We always joke about like trying to get in and out of Costco and like not spend money, which is like impossible.
You're like, ooh, like, yeah. You get like a year's supply of peanut butter. You're like, fuck.
Yes, this is true.
But okay, so back to it. So the stadium stuff, yeah. Governor Mike DeWine of Ohio proposed this law to go. He's got to get it through the state legislature, which was a gaming tax that's currently at 20%, but he wants to raise it to 40% to double
Mhm.
it in order to pay for sports stadiums and youth sports. Now, the sports stadiums would not only include the Brown Stadium, but it's
Mhm.
also all, including minor league
Right.
and anything else. But he also said that it would even Cincinnati has an issue going on with their
Yes,
stadium
I
right now too.
remember. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
from earlier last
yeah,
year, they were starting to be like, "Hey, we could use a new stadium."
yeah. Because their stadium is just as old as ours. It's probably better built,
Mhm.
better equipped, but
And they don't have the lake wearing on it.
no, they got a river, but it's different,
Mhm.
Yeah. I honestly think that if that law go, but the Browns did a response to it too, saying, "Well, we have our own way of how we want to take." Really, what it sounds like they're going to do the loan through the state and pay it back
Mhm.
after the place opens when using the usage fees of the whole facility.
Sure.
And the thing people got to understand, yeah, the stadium itself is 1.2 billion. The rest of the complex, the surrounding area, the shops, the restaurants, the hotels, is the following 2.4, and that's where most of the private investment is in.
Sure.
Just so people understand that. So yeah, if you want to say taxpayer money to you, you're kind of right, but you're kind of not right either because it's more like borrowing against future
Mhm.
tax dollars.
Yeah.
Well, there's it's a little bit more complicated than just saying, because right now it's taxpayer dollars on that lakefront monster, that whole that
That monstrosity.
yeah, the Huntington Bank Field where it's located now. That's all taxpayer money. Um, but also, I like with the thing. Did I send you that story with the mayor from Brook Park when he did on Fox 8, where he was saying that, hey, we're even setting up areas to tailgate. Like it's going to be parking lot areas to tailgate. It's not going to be that's kind
Oh,
of like how
okay.
that's going to be like the new Muni lot. He said that he made sure to say that, and that soundbite did go through. I was like, oh, okay, cool, because people are like, hey, where's the tailgating? Where's the tailgate? That's the
Mhm.
first thing
Mhm.
everybody said. Where's that
Mhm.
experience? You're gonna have giant video screens on the outside of the stadium, so
Yeah, there
you
was
might have
a
people just show up to the game to be outside of it, watching
sure.
on the screen. You
There
could
was
see that.
a story that came out tonight that'll be featured on Monday's Fox 8 News about the architect is sharing what he plans on doing in the stadium to make it unique and just
Mhm. I'm
special to Cleveland by itself. So that'll be because he was talking about,
cool.
I'm assuming it's the whole dog pound, part of the stadium that he's going to be designing. And he's going to be, I think, putting up the mock ups and explaining how it'll be,
Mhm.
special to Cleveland Stadium only. So that'll be interesting to see when it comes out Monday.
Yeah, I'll check that out. I'm
Hmm.
definitely going to check that out. Yeah, I'm noticing a lot more positive stories are coming out about the new stadium.
Right.
Yeah, and even the mayor of Brook Park said he's ready. The construction should start in 2026. I thought it would start this spring. That seems a little bit late for me, but then again, what do I know? If they got the big enough crew and they can work, to at least get the stadium to open by
Hmm.
you're talking August of 2029. That's
Hmm.
about 3.5 years,
I think they
which
could do it.
they could. I don't want it to be rushed. I want it to be done
Mm-mm.
right, and I'm sure they have their timeline. What the city of Cleveland's hoping to do with their lawsuit is to drag it out and get the Haslam's to write them a check for the lakefront redevelopment.
Better not be the size of a postage stamp. Posh. I think they're no, I mean, he was touting in the little clip that they teased tonight on the local news that it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so unique to Cleveland and so special for the fans. And I'm like, all right, buddy, I'll believe it when I see it. So Monday we'll get to check it out.
Monday. Well,
The
it
Muni
is a
Lot?
ratings month. It is a sweeps month. Yep.
Muni Lot. Yeah, it should be bigger than a postage stamp, hopefully.
Oh yeah. What they were saying was the parking in the Muni Lot area. There's going to be a lot of that out there. And where I tailgated with Harvey and his friend Adam,
Mhm.
it was right by City Hall.
Mhm.
And it was right there. And this one dude, he had this awesome setup on opening day. He had like a hotspot on his phone.
Mhm.
And he had like a Roku TV, and he had a YouTube Sunday ticket on YouTube TV, and everybody else was walking
Good
around talking and
times.
drinking. I just sat there in the lawn chair, just started watching because you remember we had a 4:30 start for the
Right.
season
Yeah.
opener, so
Mhm.
I'm watching all
Mhm.
these 1 o'clock games going on, and
That's
I said,
pretty
"Dude, you don't
great.
mind if I sit here?" They said, "No, man, hang out."
Yeah.
They were cool with it. So
That's awesome.
anyway, that was pretty cool. So that was a nice time. I think they're going to make sure that there's a great fan experience, including the tailgating experience. Because
Mhm.
otherwise, they would be what would be the word gregariously stupid to not do
Yes.
that.
Yes, agreed.
Give these people the benefit of the doubt that they know what they're doing when it
And
comes
it's
to
okay
this.
to be trepidatious though, because this is very corporate. I mean, this is
Oh
all corporate. So of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
be trepidatious, people. We'll believe it when we see it.
That's the vibe I got from Eric at Top Dog Tailgate,
Yes.
and I understand. And I said, Eric, I understand. We got to give it a chance because to me,
Mhm.
change is inevitable.
Right, of course. And
It's
this is a change for the good of Cleveland, for, the region to
yeah,
have it a
absolutely.
destination. Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, last Saturday night, um, I for the Stewcast because Corey and I were going to talk about the Royal Rumble.
Right.
You know where the Royal Rumble was at? Was at the RCA Dome,
Where's that?
in Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
It was in Indianapolis, Indiana.
They don't call it Lucas Oil anymore, or is
Or
this a
Lucas
different
Oil.
venue?
Lucas Oil. Yeah, no,
Oh,
it might have been
okay.
Lucas Oil. Yeah.
Okay.
It was in Indianapolis. I'm sorry. Why did
Gotcha,
they call it
gotcha.
the RCA Dome? It was Lucas Oil. It's where the Colts play. It was there where the NFL Combine is. That.
Sure.
And I'm like watching this going, we could host this with that stadium. It doesn't
Right.
have to be WrestleMania. It could be that. It could be a Survivor Series. It could be, you know what I mean. It could
Of
be a
course.
SummerSlam. It could,
Right.
it could be a Royal Rumble. I mean, those are the big four events that they have, and that's just to talk about the Royal Rumble itself, which I told Corey, I said I had fun watching it. I really enjoyed it.
Good.
So no, I enjoyed it. I mean, if it's good quality wrestling, but if it sucks, I'll tell you. I mean, I'm not
I
going to tell.
saw one clip that I really enjoyed.
What's that with the Royal Rumble?
Yes. And it was just in my feed. A wrestler by the name, I think her name is Jordan Grace.
Yes,
She
she made her
she
debut. She made her WWE debut. I know
so
Jordan.
that's cool. Watching her lift up that very large lady and like twirl her around and slam her, I was like,
Whoa.
wow. It was like the ant and the grasshopper. It was amazing watching her do
It
that. I'm
wasn't.
like,
Yeah, she's very strong. She's a very
she's
strong
so
lady.
strong. I was
Was
so
that Nia
impressed.
Jax she picked up, or I'm trying to
No,
remember
it
who?
was
No.
a very
Well,
large
Nia Jax is
woman.
very large too. Yeah. It might
I
be.
don't know
I
who
think I
it is.
have an idea. I think it's Piper.
She was also wearing a shade of green, and she had like a tutu on, sorta,
Yeah,
kinda.
kind of like a Celtic type outfit. Yeah, I know what
Wow,
you're talking.
I was so impressed because, she looks jacked, and she just flew into that ring and picked this woman up like it was nothing, and it was almost like the kickback from, like, when you shoot a gun, like, she went flying back after she, like,
All right.
flung that lady.
Yeah, the reaction of the night was Alexa Bliss
Uh,
coming back. I don't know if
I
you know
saw
she
she's the one
had
that had
a
the
jacket
doll.
on.
She had a doll?
Yeah, yeah, and she had a
Okay.
jacket on as a tribute to Bray Wyatt, which I thought was cool too. So I was like, once I heard the music and I heard the reaction, like, damn, I'm like, that's a pop of the night. It was. So she did very good. And they had the Charlotte Flair one at Rick's daughter. So good for everybody. It was a good show. But I'm saying like the Lucas Oil, like I'm pretty sure we could have events like this on a regular basis. We could have
Oh,
big
yeah.
concerts. We could have Super Bowls. We could have
Mhm.
this. It's guys. trust us. I mean, plus I'm seeing the article saying, you know what type of revenue this would bring into the
Oh
city,
yes.
economic growth. That's what we're talking about. Plus, I'm under the belief, and I've told people this. People might think I'm a little bit crazy. There is something wrong with the ground in that stadium. There's something wrong with that place,
Hmm.
and I can't put my finger on it, but it hasn't gone well. And look at the history. The Indians played on that ground too, and once they left, they went on to win 3 pennants within
Yeah,
the nose hair of
sure.
winning 2 World Series and 11 division titles and 4 wild card appearances. So in a 30-year period, they had a period of they've unprecedented success since they left there,
Hmm.
and they played there since the 30s. So I will just say this: it's going to happen. It needs to happen. Embrace the change.
Yeah.
Give it a chance. That's my whole
Right.
thing. Let's talk Super Bowl for the last 10 minutes. What do you say?
All right. Sure.
Okay. People, comment if you're still with us.
Hey, this is the first time I've ever gotten into wrestling. You should be proud that I
Yeah. Yeah.
watched that
Usually,
clip.
usually I bring up wrestling and her eyes glaze over. It's like when I talk football with Corey. He's like,
Right. That's why I totally gonna try and tune in on to watch Corey's
we
eyes
invited you.
glaze over.
Look,
I
we
know,
invited you.
man. I know.
I think I got him into it a little bit more since he started
Okay.
hanging around me. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I will say this: does anybody in the comments honestly think the NFL is going to let the Chiefs lose on Sunday?
I just have it up from I was hanging out in random alleys and I just, wanted to keep it going. That's what's with the
Oh,
backdrop.
that's your fucking question. I mean,
That's hilarious. Right. Yeah. That's what you want to know. What's with the
no.
bricks?
I asked a legitimate question: do people think there's some sort of collusion in the NFL to make the Chiefs win? And I'm honestly saying this because I've seen how, to me, Josh Allen made that first down. No, he said yes, and okay, Steve, I got you. You think the
Yes, I
Eagles are
think
winning? I'm rooting for the Eagles,
I as well am rooting for the Eagles,
big time.
partly to watch them burn down Philly, because that's what they do.
Put it down.
Right.
Good for them. But yeah, burn it down in Philly. So no, honestly, I remember Goodell got defensive. He said, "Oh no, we're not doing that." Or just what he said about.
Right. Right. He did come out and say that.
But yeah, well, dude, everybody's seen this. How the referees are favoring. But the thing was, they did the same shit with the Patriots back in the day.
I said that yesterday. They always pick a darling. The NFL always picks a darling to protect, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Until Taylor Swift breaks up with Travis Kelce and writes a song
Ooh.
about him, this shit's gonna keep happening. So yeah, Travis, you'll be her next #1 hit, and she's gonna win a Grammy, and thank you for it.
Oh,
So
damn. That is spicy. That's a spicy take.
indeed, it is. Yes, I didn't even get to my jokes.
Ah, jeez. Hurry.
Well, no, there's stuff in the news. Okay, so we talked about
Sure.
the Super Bowl. I'm rooting. We're all rooting for the Eagles, but we don't
Hmm.
think the Eagles are going to have a chance because the referees are on their side. So that's the take. And Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift.
Hmm.
So there was a story. This is not sports related, and it's not a political show, but this is more political news, where there was a guy. Like right now, Elon Musk is leading a team called Doge, Department of Government
Which
Efficiency,
made
and
me laugh
which
because
is
it's hilarious.
government and efficiency is an oxymoron, just so you know. But they're finding stuff at this place called USAID, and they're finding all this corruption and all this waste of government money. And he has a crew of like 6 young guys doing this, and these guys are like using AI and algorithms.
Nerds. He
They're
has
using
some,
nerds. He's using
he has
basically
great nerds.
the
Yeah,
guys from the Big Bang Theory to to go through this stuff and
sure.
find it. And it turns out um one that so the people not the people that are upset are not upset about the government waste of money, of taxpayer money. No. They're upset about the guys finding it. And they doxed one guy on a story, wired broke it.
Right. That's
And it turns
awful.
out he had a screen name called Big Balls.
Yes, that was funny. Again, something else that was very hilarious coming out of all of this.
When CNN is saying, yeah, his name's Big Balls, and they're talking on like
Like
TV.
I saw one of the women like went to say it, one of the pundits on one of the with the short brown hair. You know what I'm
I
talking
wish
about?
I
That
was
clip?
on that
I was
panel
dying. I
because
was laughing so
I was on
hard.
that panel. I said, well, Big Balls has brothers. He has a brother Harry. He has a brother Shaved. And he has another one that's on steroids called Shriveled.
Oh, that's half the team right there.
And he also has a Jewish cousin named Matzah.
Ah,
That's my joke.
I like that one. That's great.
I wrote it today. I sat down and wrote it today. So that was that. That's it. Yeah, there you go. Oh my goodness. Did you? I know the people are mad at the messenger on this. If you notice that, and
Yeah.
I like the Chuck Schumer like trying to start a Jewish chant. We will win. We will win. I know, what a doge bag. That's another joke. There you go.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, the phony Indian was up there too. Yeah.
Steve wrote, how was Blue related?
That's a good question. You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy.
Cousin on his father's side once removed, Blue Ball?
Pretty much. Blue balls, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we could go hard balls.
The possibilities are endless.
Polished balls.
Sweaty.
Low hanging balls.
Oh.
sweaty balls. Salty. Could you No, it was like the nickname for Elizabeth Warren because she faked being an Indian to get into a college. They'll call her Chief Sitting Bullshit. So there we go. Okay, that's pretty much it today. Enough testicle jokes for one. Hey, Trump chimed in. I've used the screen name, huge wiener. Circumcised, mazel tov. All right. So, all right, guys, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm getting goofy when I'm starting.
Oh, yeah. Right.
She loves it when I get that way. Hey, guys, thank you for joining us. We'll be back here next Friday night. We'll talk results, Super Bowl. We'll talk free agency. I'll have Jack Duffin on. We'll talk more about the Myles Garrett situation. I don't see much movement happening in the next week. I don't think he's going anywhere. Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere. And I think he's going to start to realize it's starting to turn on him. And I like Myles. Oh, we got another comment. Hang on. Who commented? Hey, you have a good night too, Steve.
Have a good one, Steve.
Nice, Steve. Hey, guys, always remember, when the river burns, it burns brown and orange. I'll see you next week.